This is Top Accolade Global News Updates. I am Soibifa Jackrich. Argentina elected right-wing libertarian Javier Milei as its new president on Sunday, rolling the dice on an outsider with radical views to fix an economy battered by triple-digit inflation, a looming recession, and rising poverty. Milei, who rode a wave of voter anger with the political mainstream, won by a wider than expected margin. He landed some 56% of the vote versus just over 44% for his rival, Peronist Economy Minister Sergio Massa, who considered the model of decadence has come to an end. There's no going back, Milei said in a defense speech after the results, while also acknowledging the challenges that face him. We have monumental problems ahead. Inflation, lack of work, and poverty, he said. In downtown Buenos Aires, hundreds of Milei supporters honked horns and chanted his popular refrain against the political elites. Out with all of them, as rock music played from speakers, some people set off fireworks as excitement spread. We came to celebrate this historic triumph, said Efraim Viveros, a 21-year-old student from the province of Salta. I'm honestly ecstatic. Milei represented change for the better. With Massa, we have had no future. Our future has returned. Milei is pledging economic shock therapy. His plans include shutting the central bank, dishing the peso, and slashing spending. Potentially painful reforms that resonated with voters angry at the economy. Milei's challenges are numerous. He will have to deal with the empty coffers of the government and central bank, a creaking $44 billion debt program with the International Monetary Fund, inflation nearing 150%, and a dizzying array of capital controls. Milei's win shakes up Argentina's political landscape and economic roadmap and could impact trade in grains, lithium, and hydrocarbons. Milei has criticized China and Brazil, saying he won't deal with communists and favors stronger U.S. ties. Former U.S. President Donald Trump congratulated Milei and said the libertarian would make Argentina great again. Leftist Colombian President Gustavo Petro, meanwhile, said it was a sad day for the region. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky on Sunday demanded rapid changes in the operations of military medical system as he announced the dismissal of the commander of the medical forces. Zelensky's move was announced as he met Defense Minister Rustem Umerov and coincided with debates over the conduct of the 20-month-old war against Russia, with questions over how quickly a counter-offensive in the east and south is proceeding. In today's meeting with Defense Minister Umerov, priorities were set. Zelensky said in his nightly video address, "There is little time left to wait for results. Quick action is needed for forthcoming changes." Zelensky said he had replaced Major General Tatiana Ostashenko as commander of the Armed Forces Medical Forces. The task is clear, as he has been repeatedly stressed in society, particularly among combat medics. We need a fundamentally new level of medical support for our soldiers, he said. Umerov acknowledged the change in a post on the Telegram messaging app and laid out digitalization, tactical medicine, and rotation of servicemen as his top priorities. Ukraine's military report on what it described as advanced in recapturing occupied areas in the east and south, and last week acknowledged that troops had taken control of areas on the eastern bank of the Dnipro River in southern Kherson region. Ukrainian Commander-in-Chief General Valery Zaluzny, in an essay published this month, said the war was entering a new stage of attrition and Ukraine needed more sophisticated technology to counter the Russian military. While repeatedly saying advances will take time, Zelensky has denied the war is headed into a stalemate and has called on Kyiv's Western partners, mainly the United States, to maintain levels of military support. Clive Vaught, the CEO of General Motors robot taxi unit Cruise, has resigned from the company a day after apologizing to staff as the company undergoes a safety review of its US fleet. Vaught, 38, offered little in the way of explanation, stating simply, "I have resigned from my position." Vaught founded Cruise in 2013. His decision follows a week of turmoil at the unit, which had to pull all its vehicles from testing in the United States to conduct a a safety review after an October 2nd accident that ended with one of the crew's self-driving taxis dragging a pedestrian. A source familiar with the circumstances of Vogt's resignation said Vogt had informed the board of his decision to leave on Sunday after apologizing to staff for the company's problems in an email on Saturday. As CEO, I take responsibility for the situation Cruise is in today. There are no excuses and there is no sugarcoating what has happened. We need to double down on safety, transparency, and community engagement, he wrote in the email. Cruise woes are also a setback for an industry dependent on public trust and the cooperation of regulators. The unit had in recent months touted ambitious plans to expand to more cities, offering fully autonomous taxi rides. Vogt's resignation came after GM and the board at Cruise increased their scrutiny of its leadership. The Cruise board met on November 13th and the next day named GM General Counsel Greg Gladden as Cruise's chief administrative officer. The board also said it would retain a third-party safety expert to assess safety operations and culture. OpenAI has appointed ex-Twitch boss Emmett Shear to lead the startup replacing Sam Altman, who will join the company's top backer Microsoft. To lead a new advanced AI research team, the CEO of the software giant said late on Sunday. We look forward to getting to know Emmett Shear and OpenAI's new leadership team and working with them, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella posted on social media platform X. He added, Microsoft remains committed to its partnership with OpenAI. The decision not to reinstate Altman as CEO of the company behind ChatGPT has confounded efforts by investors and employees of the firm to steady the ship by bringing him back after the board fired him on Friday. A surprise move that rocked the tech world. The fear his abrupt sacking could lead to a mass exodus of talent and impact an upcoming $86 billion share sale. Nadella said Altman would join Microsoft to lead a new advanced AI research team. Altman and Greg Brockman, who stepped down from the OpenAI board as chairman as part of the management shuffle, joined executives at the company's headquarters on Sunday after then interim CEO Mira Murati told staff she invited Altman, the information earlier reported on Sunday. Nadella said Brockman would also join the software company. Altman posted an image of himself on X on Sunday wearing an OpenAI guest badge with the caption, "First and last time I ever wear one of this." He reshared Nadella's message with a comment, "The mission continues." Japanese shares hit high not seen since 1990 on Monday as strong earnings and offshore demand fueled a 3-week winning streak, while the yuan was pushed higher by China's central bank, leading to broader softness in the dollar. Japan's Nikkei ran into profits, taking at the peak, but was still up 8.2% for the month so far, with the topics not far behind. Financial shares led the gains on Monday as investors prepare for an eventual end to negative rates. While automakers have been benefiting from a weak yen and high exports, MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan gained 0.8%, having climbed 2.8% last week to a 2-month high. The Black Friday sales will test the pulse of the consumer-driven U.S. economy this week, while the Thanksgiving holiday will make for teen markets. There were media reports Israel, the United States, and Hamas had reached a tentative agreement to free dozens of hostages in Gaza in exchange for a 5-day pause in fighting, but no confirmation as yet. Chinese blue chips dipped 0.2% as the country's central bank held rates steady as widely expected, but set a firm fix for the yuan that saw the dollar slip under 7.2 thousand to a 3-month low. S&P 500 futures eased 0.15% and Nasdaq futures lost 0.35%. The S&P is now up nearly 18% for the year and less than 2% away from its July peak. Yet, analysts Analysts at Goldman Sachs notes the Magnificent Seven mega cap stocks have returned 73% for the year so far, compared with just 6% for the remaining 493 firms. We expect the mega cap tech stocks will continue to outperform given their superior expected sales growth, margins, reinvestment ratios, and balance sheet strength, they wrote in a note. But the risk-reward profile is not especially compelling given elevated expectations. The flow of the U.S. economic data turns to a trickle this week, but minutes of the Federal Reserve's last meeting will offer some color on policymakers thinking as they held rates steady for a second time. That is the size of top accolade global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Monday.